I want to know what the hell is going on.
3, 2, 1.
Perfect.
All right. Welcome to Screen Share and Chill, a podcast about movies where we force each other to watch movies. And my name is Kelly.
I'm Keith.
And I'm Jamie.
And right now we are ending our 90s horror run, which has been a mixed bag in my personal opinion, but definitely has a lot of home runs in it. One of which, Jamie, thankfully, the crowd goes wild. Jamie has made up for both Keith and I picking slightly obscure movies that not everybody would enjoy, and she has picked...
Se7en. Or Se7en.
Sesevenen.
Sesevenen. Yeah,
Sesevenen.
Sesevenen.
Se7en. Hey, if we're doing M3 again, we got to do Se7en.
Well, we had to bring it up because you couldn't find it as easily last night until I told you that it was Sesevenen.
No. Yeah, if I just do a search for 7, like 17,000 movies come up. If I just do a search for Se7en, then it works just fine. And you all know exactly what I'm talking about, listeners. You know it. You know it. You might be cringing, but you know what I'm talking about.
We promise he won't say Se7en all night long.
Oh, I wasn't planning on calling it anything but.
Why do you do this?
So tell us a little bit about the movie, Jamie. You're our fact catcher for the movie. You picked it. Why'd you pick it, and what makes this movie so special?
Okay, well, first of all, I picked it because in the wonderful wild treasure trove that is 90s horror, where I feel like we could literally do an entire year of 90s horror.
Here.
You two picked crap.
Hey.
Wow.
Dark City is a fucking wonderful movie.
New Nightmare was ahead of its time.
Crap.
So
Absolute
ahead
crap.
of its time that even now in the year 2026, it still sucks.
Like, I was so excited for this, and you managed to suck all my excitement out of this series.
Oh, whatever. 80s horror would have been the true winner, if you ask me.
Nah.
No, 90s horror had so many good ones. I went with
Silence
an
of the
obscure one, and you
Lambs.
went with an obscure one too. Yeah, Silence of the Lambs was
Scream.
the low-hanging fruit that somebody should have picked.
Urban
that one, 'cause it's
Legend,
such a good
Final
movie.
Destination, The Craft. There's so many. But I chose
But you
7.
picked Se7en.
I picked
Thank God.
Se7en. 7 because it is...
Se7en.
Don't make me come over there, Kelly.
Gesundheit.
You're welcome.
And because it is such a amazing movie, and I had not seen it in at least 2 decades. So I was like, it might be time to rewatch it and see if it really holds up as well as I think it does, because we have already proven that most 90s movies we've watched don't.
Well,
So,
I mean, you'll
You
get
know, like-
different. You'll get your mileage may vary. How about that?
right. Well, that like maybe they might be a little cancelable, or the jokes might not carry as far as they used to, you know.
Or the acting is terrible.
Oh, Lord.
We have ourselves a homicide.
If I may speak freely, this should not be his first assignment.
I've worked homicide 5 years.
Not here.
For how long have you lived here?
Too long.
911, what's your emergency?
No fingerprints. No witnesses of any kind.
Nope.
It means that this is beginning. There are 7 deadly sins. Gluttony, greed, pride, sloth, wrath, lust, and envy.
Dex! You wanna come take a look at this? Honestly, have you ever seen anything like this?
No. This guy's methodical, exacting, and worst of all, patient.
Like what you do for a living? These things you see.
Oh God, he had a gun in my mouth.
He's 2 murders away from completing his masterpiece.
Let's finish it.
Who's in the bar?
You know, this isn't gonna have a happy end.
it released on September 22nd of 1995. It went up against To Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar, and Showgirls. To Wong
Still
Fu, Thanks
haven't
for
seen
Everything
that
is
one.
good. You've not seen To Wong Fu?
I've heard good things, but no, there's a lot of movies I haven't seen.
Yeah, that one's a good one. Showgirls is something else entirely.
Wait, what year was
I've
this?
seen that one though.
1995.
Certain scenes at least.
Yeah. As a 13-year-old boy, Showgirls was
That was required viewing.
What a
That
film!
was, like, you can't.
Excellent movie. Yes. I can't...
I'm just saying that stars the woman who by the transitive properties of sex ed from the 90s, made me kiss Zach Morris, and I'm okay with that. So
Fair enough.
it had a budget of $30 million, and it grossed $327.3 million worldwide.
Wow.
Yeah, and I feel like my gut reaction is to go down the line and start listing the people that are in it, or the people that directed it, or the people that did the music, but then I feel like I'm infringing on the goods. So maybe we should save that because that's all going to come up.
Right.
I would like to point out that this was David Fincher's second feature film behind Alien 3.
Alien 3, The Attack of the Glob, the green glob.
Which is fucking, it's just the studio interference. Like, I'm sure he could have done a good movie. There probably still would have been a blob there, but like there was wide reports. Like, he hates that movie because of, he won't even talk about it because of studio interference. I would have loved to see his actual version of that movie. Because
without Alien 3, and the constant studio interference, we may not have the 7 we have now. Because the Alien 3 constant studio interference is what made him and Morgan Freeman and Brad Pitt stand so strong behind the original script of Se7en that they made the movie that they wanted it made.
Awesome. Good.
As opposed to like...
One of us.
No!
Say it like Arnold, please.
Se7en. It's a great movie. Se7en is one of my favorites.
If you find them dead someday, it's not me. I promise.
Probably going to cut that out, but whatever.
Anyway.
So it's interesting. Can I touch on one thing real quick? It's interesting that you bring up the controversy behind the movie, because that it will. I don't know if that's good, bad, or ugly. So it's a good thing we're bringing it up now, because the controversy surrounding this movie was so great that several major actors and very influential people in the industry completely passed on it, and they passed on it with prejudice. Famously, Warren Beatty was tagged at one point to play the old cop, Morgan Freeman's role. And Warren Beatty, Hollywood legend, and everybody knows his name coming from thousands of miles away kind of thing. And he turned it down because he called it, quote, evil and misogynistic. Oh, I'm sorry, an evil and misogynistic piece of trash is what he called it. Jesus Christ. Like, wow. And I mean, I don't know if I agree with the misogyny, because that might be part of the theme of the movie, that none of these things are good things that you should be feeling. But, evil? Oh yeah, there's a lot of evil in this fucking movie. This is a dark fucking movie. There's no denying. One of the darkest movies that I can personally handle as a non-horror usual watcher.
And it's not very gory. Like, it's just dark.
Disturbing, yeah.
No, they show all the violence happens off screen on purpose, and it's supposed to leave the viewer, at least according to the Wikipedia article, it's supposed to leave the viewer reeling from not knowing that you find out the same time the cops do after it happens. You don't get to see it happen, and it allowed them to play with some really dark concepts and get away with it, sort of, with the ratings board, because they didn't actually show somebody gorging on the food. They just showed the corpse afterwards.
Yeah, because that was the most disturbing death.
You tell me how that's different. I mean, I guess I'm the same guy that would argue that I don't want to watch it happen. So maybe it's for people like me. Maybe it's so that somebody like I can watch this movie.
I think it's very effective. I think
imagination is way worse than what you could ever see.
Exactly.
Oh yeah. And then I can cut my imagination off when it starts to get a little uncomfortable. I can just we're gonna think about puppy dogs and rainbows and candy.
It was the screenplay was done by Andrew Kevin Walker, which, if you're gonna write a screenplay about a serial killer, maybe you shouldn't use all 3 names. Just saying.
I was gonna say, that seems like it's right on the nose. Like, that might be just good marketing. Like, his PR person said, no, trust me, go with the middle name, it'll fit.
And and then Alfonso Freeman's Alfonso Freeman, who is Morgan Freeman's son, stars as the fingerprint tech. Brad Pitt can...
Oh, I'm sorry, I misspoke. Warren Beatty, I just looked it up. He was going for John Doe. He was going to be the mysterious guy that wasn't listed in the cast list, and he was going to be the mysterious killer. That could have been really cool, having somebody like Warren Beatty as John Doe. I just wanted to clarify. Sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
That's okay. It's okay. Here you are cutting me off again. We're used to it.
Yeah, second time in 5 minutes. All right, let's keep the tally.
Oh, Jesus. Please don't start a timer for that. I will lose horribly.
Brad Pitt considers this one of the most perfect films he's ever made. It was, speaking of people who turned it down, Guillermo del Toro turned down directing this as it was too dark.
Oh, that would have been interesting, but I'm glad that Fincher made it.
Right.
No, yeah, Fincher was the
amazing.
right person, right time, right cast, right music, right set. I mean, sorry, it might be spoiling, but anybody watching this, if you know about Se7en, you should know that, yeah, it's a fucking great movie. There's a high chance that all three of us are going to really dig this movie. And, yeah, I mean, I can't imagine...
Can you imagine those sets? Can you imagine the death scenes as detailed as they were now? If Del Toro had directed
it would have been so different though. That's what I like.
Right.
This had that paint peel, that really dark setting. Like they were talking about when they went to the well, I mean, it wasn't just fake grunge either. They were going on site for a lot of these sets, and like the set where Gluttony, when they were setting up the corpse, which was an actor wearing some prosthetics, and they had him seated like in the spaghetti for like 5 hours straight or something like that. But when he was explaining the scene to interviewers afterwards, he explained that when they were clearing the room for him to come in, there were still cockroaches and used condoms on the floor, and they had production assistants still clearing off the used, and the used condoms were not part of the set.
Oh, no.
I mean, they were
supplied by the movie. Yeah, they weren't intentionally part of the movie, but they had production assistants running around picking up.
Yeah.
They said at one point they had to pick up a couple of needles that were just left on the ground wherever they were filming, and just think about doing like any kind of stunt work, even just like fast movements. No thanks, I'm good. But that's why it looks really gritty and really real, because that really was some of those probably were fucking crack houses or just burnt out houses and shit like that. So,
it was the 7th highest grossing film of 1995.
How about that, huh?
Right? And that's unplanned, because there's a lot of 7s in there. Like every house.
So the executives will tell us that they made like Tree Fitty. That's all they made.
Yep, Tree Fitty.
300 million plus.
Yeah, 327.3 million. I already said that. Thank you. And that's what I have for facts. So.
All right. Well, we got some facts. We got some behind the scenes. Would you say that it's time to start and talk about the good?
I would.
Well, maybe we should.
That rhymes.
You broke it, Jamie. You broke it.
You can't play with it anymore. You broke it.
When we start the movie, Detective Somerset has 7 days left until he retires. And I'm like, oh, that's part of the name of the movie. That's the middle part of the movie.
Every house in the first opening scene starts with a 7 in the address.
Before even that, I have to. My first note is that literally the title sequence of this fucking movie is.
Oh yeah, you said that you studied it, and I saw that was a very common thing in film and creative.
Literally in our motion graphics design class, it was like one of the first things that we watched and studied. It is used to teach how to effectively do motion graphics that are dynamic and have, are stylized.
So you know the history of it.
I probably
how
forgot.
it came to be.
No, tell me, remind me.
I didn't want to steal the torch from you if it was a story that you learned about.
He won't steal the torch from you.
I was offering it willingly. No, the story goes is that they originally had filmed Morgan Freeman going to a house out in the country, and he was looking at the house, and it's implied that that's where he was going to retire to in 7 days. And while he was out there, he was looking at different types of wallpaper, and he took one wallpaper that he chose that he was going to do in his house, and he put it in his pocket. And throughout the movie, every time things get a little bit weird, he takes out the wallpaper to remind himself that this is where you're going when this week is over. You just got to get through this week, kind of thing.
Sure.
They put it in front of focus test audiences. The focus audiences didn't like it. Fincher said, well, they're not my target audience, that you pick random people off the street for one of the most sadistic evil movies that we've ever made, and they didn't like the beginning. Go figure. But so they forced him to take it out, and he's like, well, fuck, I have no money left to do this with, and they gave him $50,000, and he just threw it together with his special effects artists and his editors, and they did that.
That's right. It's like a
$50,000, and it won awards. It is largely lauded as the best opening title sequence of a movie probably ever, if in the top 10.
Yeah, very, very hands-on work from him. Like okay,
and
we're gonna make this happen. Yeah,
it's narratively cohesive, and it makes sense, and it adds to the movie. Like he made lemonade out of fucking lemons. It
sets the fucking vibe so perfectly for what's to come, because it's like
you're seeing him prepare. You're seeing him do everything behind the scenes that you're gonna watch soon.
Every last bit of it makes sense when you finish the movie. Every last piece of that opening title sequence. Also in the good, most of the cast. With one glaring problem, the rest of the cast good.
Oh well, yeah, problematic problem. Yeah. But then again, I mean, there's 1.5 problems.
There's really two, but 2 halves equal 1.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting into the abuse Olympics, and it feels a little icky. So let's just say that there are some problem people here in the cast for various reasons. The obvious notable which is Kevin Spacey, with all the accusations of sexual abuse and assault that he's faced over the years.
Against
and
minors.
He's largely blackballed from Hollywood now. Other than that, though, they all do a great job. There's a reason why Kevin Spacey, even though he's a piece of shit, got really famous, is because he's a good actor. There's no denying that. I can't take that away from him, even if he is a horrible person. Whatever. So, but him, Morgan Freeman, Brad Pitt, fucking amazing. And Gwyneth Paltrow, great job.
Lee Emery.
I couldn't remember his name, but the house's
the drill sergeant
and the drill sergeant from Full Metal Jacket. Yeah,
he's great in everything I've ever seen him in. So
has my favorite line in the whole movie.
At first, they were worried. Fincher was worried that Brad Pitt would not be able to be charismatic enough on screen to hold the audience, even when he was kind of being an asshole at different parts. And then once he saw him in his audition, he's like, "Oh yeah, I'll still like this guy, even if he's kind of a dick. As long as he's not a total dick, I'll still like him."
I love Brad Pitt's character in this movie, because he's kind of a schlup, kind of a fucking. He's obviously a slightly lesser detective,
he's just a regular dude that's trying to. And in the Wikipedia article, they list him as a well-meaning detective.
Yeah.
And it's he's trying to do the right thing.
He really is. He's trying to be a good detective. Yeah. I love the character.
He puts up his guard at the worst times, and he takes down his guard at the worst times.
I love that you called him schlubby, because his ties in the movie were all things that he went out and bought, because he specifically wanted the character to not have good fashion sense. So he went and bought the ties, not knowing what the rest of his costumes would look like. So
that works.
It did.
That works. Howard Shore did the music for this movie. What the fuck? Where did that come from?
But it was such a good soundtrack.
The Lord of the Rings guy did the most evil horror movie that people were signing off on. It's incredible, and the music is great. It's the soundtrack is also incredible, with a ton of big names like fucking 9 Inch Nails and David Bowie and fucking Gravity Kills and a bunch. I don't remember them all off the top of my head, but I remember looking at the actual soundtrack afterwards, and I'm impressed. It's nothing's ever going to be as good as The Crow, but it's encroaching. It's getting pretty close up there. This was a pretty fucking good soundtrack,
and it's just such a completely different vibe in every way from what we know Howard Shore for.
Oh yeah, and I'm talking about the rock or whatever, the popular songs that released alongside the music. His music was fucking incredible though. It's I don't know.
It fit with those songs that you were just talking about seamlessly.
Oh yeah, and it blended in and out. And David Fincher has this manner of timing his scenes, working real closely with whoever he's doing his editing, and the music is always in time with the scene cuts and such. That Fight Club is an aesthetically pleasing movie to watch. Just watching the music and watching the scene cuts, it's so fucking good. It's so well put together. And this movie is largely the same.
Also, 2 things that I'm going to put together because I really enjoyed it in the movie. You're in a noir detective movie, so obviously things are really dark. And there's a lot of ambiotic music. Is ambiotic a word? Is now, whatever.
Ambient.
Yeah. The
Ambiotic makes it sound like you hear it when you're in utero.
That would be amniotic.
In the womb.
Amniotic. It is the ambiance.
But then again, the soundtrack
you.
is going. The soundtrack has a Lord of the Rings to the "I Want to Fuck You Like an Animal" pipeline. So like maybe
ambiotic.
Yep.
I'm sticking with it.
We're coining it right here. Ambiotic.
Ambiotic. But between the two, like they made it so that it was dark because the lights didn't work. It wasn't just, we're going to go in and we don't want to touch the lights because that would disturb the crime scene. So we're going to use flashlights on everything. It was the lights don't work. And the music was playing, especially in the first library scene. This is where it hit me because somebody pressed play on a boombox. It wasn't just all of a sudden this music was in the background. Somebody pressed. So it all made logical sense in the narrative. Yeah. And I loved that. I loved that they did that.
In the dance club scenes, that's when you're hearing the pumping music, the industrial type music in the background, which makes sense because that's what would be at a BDSM club. Or at least that's the stereotype we think of. At least your mind recognizes that culturally from the knowledge that we are given.
Right.
You get my drift.
All the different allusions to Se7en.
Yeah, it's just all over this whole movie.
Yep. Yeah. Especially Morgan Freeman's character. Like he does a lot with sevens, and it is kind of everywhere, but he specifically says it repeatedly.
It reminded me of Mothman Prophecies with the red eyes, that they just it bled into every little scene. Like there would just be a random scene where if you look at the way the staircase is lined up on the screen in front of you, it looks like a 7, that kind of thing.
So Keith, how about you? Some more? Because I still have more, but
something that's always sat with me is as just it's like a little study on trauma and PTSD when Brad Pitt's character is talking about the shootout and the guy that got shot, and he's like, oh, what was that guy's name? And then he continues telling the story, and then he's like, man, what was his fucking name? And he's like getting upset that, this story that is burned into his brain for being awful, and like but he can't remember the guy's name. Something about that seems so like that feels real. It's so real, and not being able to remember his name and getting frustrated at it, and for some reason it always jumped out at me from my very first watch, and it's just one of those little character things that I appreciate so much.
Well, and okay, so the Game of Thrones directors, the producers, D&D or whatever, they should have watched this movie and seen how that even in 2 hours we can see a character go from completely believable and likable to a complete maniac by the end of the fucking movie, and you can understand how he gets there every step of the way. And by the time we're at the scene you're talking about, he's at wit's fucking end with this whole thing. Like his illusions are being shattered left and right, and his view of the world is being challenged on a minute by minute basis. So he's also faced with the ideas of like not remembering something that's very important to him. So he's also feeling that shame of that moment that this person gave their life so I could live on, and I can't even be bothered to fucking remember their name. What a piece of shit am I?
Survivor's guilt.
It's a masterclass watching the descent of that man.
And another part of why that stands out is because that's when they're on the way to one of my favorite, probably my personal favorite sequences in the movie, which is they have the address that they got from the library, and they're going to knock on John Doe's door. They don't know it's John Doe yet, and he just shows up in the hallway, down the hallway with his grocery bag, and opens fire on him, and then it goes to that chase, and it's so good. I love all of that shit. But I especially love at the end when they're trying to come up with a reason that they should have to enter the apartment, because they're not supposed to have that information. And Brad Pitt has had enough, and he just fucking kicks in the door, and he's like, well, there's no point in arguing anymore. It's like I removed that obstacle from the equation. Yeah, and I fucking love it.
I have this philosophy I used to use all the time back in the day when I was much less mature, but it was basically, if I'm going to get my hand slapped for putting it in the cookie jar, then I'm getting a fucking cookie out of the deal. Right. And he just makes a decision quick that, all right, well, fuck it. I'm going to face the Pied Piper for this. So I gotta deal with this. All right. Now, but the benefit is we can go in. So let's just get over with it.
Right. Love it.
Let's have our cookie.
It's a great, and that is like a little preview of the end, right? You know what I mean? Of his impulsive.
Because to him, justice matters more than lawfulness.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's the difference between these characters is that Mills, when you really break it down, he's chaotic good, whereas John Doe is lawful evil.
Yeah.
One of them believes in structure over pain and suffering. Pain and suffering don't matter as long as you conform to the structure that has been laid out for you. The other one says structure doesn't fucking matter, justice matters more, and good matters more. And we learned that neither one of them, I mean, not to run too far ahead, but I guess the kind of the message of the movie is neither one of them is like objectively correct. That's the whole point, is that they exist in a gray area in battle with each other because, you know, neither one of them makes, because you can't have cops just executing prisoners either. You know, like we literally had protests about this a few years ago. So, yeah. I like the fact that when they capture John Doe, he's talking to the detectives, and he's telling the story about how he went to the subway and he tried to interact with the common folk, and he had a conversation with the man, but he found the conversation so banal that he just vomited all over
that's he's reading his journal.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah. But it's the whole idea of I had a conversation with a stranger and it was so fucking boring. I literally just threw up all over him.
Yeah.
Wow. Like, at what point at that did you think that you're a sane person? Like, I kind of with Mills a little bit, like, you have to realize there's something not working right. If just having a conversation with somebody is enough to make you physically bleh. Come on, man. But it's still a funny scene. It's still a funny idea.
It really is. And when you picture it, when you actually put it into picture.
I'm in my mind's eye. The next time I talk to a really boring person, I'm going to be going, bleh.
My favorite line from the entire movie, and I know Keith also enjoyed it, is when the phone rings and the head detective picks up the phone. He goes, "This isn't even my desk."
Yeah, and hangs up immediately. Yeah.
But he's in charge, so he's allowed to. It doesn't matter. It's not my phone. It's my fucking department. This isn't even my desk. Click.
It was just a moment of levity that you needed in the middle of this movie, because there's not a lot of levity.
And the look on his face never even changes. Like, he's frustrated, and that is like a 9.1, and it stays at a 9.1 consistent.
And
through the
it's
entire
literally
phone call.
just because the ringing phone is annoying him, so he's like, let's just make this stop.
Yes.
I feel that, because ringing phones drive me insane.
There's another Alien connection in this. So
I didn't see any green blobs running across.
David Fincher directed Alien 3. The guy with the dildo, the guy who was forced to wear it, he is the guy from Alien Resurrection who wakes up the pirates were smuggling bodies. He wakes up with the alien in him, and it's the same. That's his type of acting, the like hyperventilating and like losing his shit. Remember, he's the guy. He's like, what's fucking inside me? Like when he's freaking out.
Yeah.
He also though played the bad guy in one of another movie that I was going to pick for this that I didn't, which is The Bone Collector, which is also an amazing movie.
That is a good movie.
And one of the best compliments. I'm out of good technically. Technically I have one more, but it's just silly and it never came back. But I wrote down Chekhov's Subway because I figured that was going to become a very relevant plot point later. Because I hadn't seen the movie in years and years, so I don't remember the details. And no, the subway doesn't really come back. I mean, maybe John Doe uses it to break into his apartment. But I thought that was like a clue. Like later on, they hear the subway when John Doe calls or something like that, and he's like, "Oh, he's at my house" or something. But it never came up. No, it's just a red herring.
I have the dichotomy of how they're researching the 7 deadly sins. You have, whatever Morgan Freeman character's name is, goes to the library and he goes to the classics and he's looking at the actual classics, and then he gives Mills the reading list of classics, and Mills tries to read it, gets mad, throws the book, and picks up the Cliff Notes. And then hides
he has
the
somebody
Cliff
else.
Notes.
He has somebody else get the Cliff Notes for him.
Yes.
Remember, his laziness is a little extra that he doesn't even go get the Cliff Notes himself. But okay, so like it struck me as the two different perspectives were, and they both were trying to use this list to try to solve a crime. But you have Somerset, which he didn't approach it as somebody that has never really read these books. He approached it as somebody that has studied these books before, so he kind of knew where to look. Whereas Mills is like, there's no way I'm going to read the entirety of Dante's Inferno and blah, blah, and all these seven Chaucer's or Canterbury Tales. There's no way I'm going to get through all of these huge fucking dense fucking poetry-laden books and understand them all in a matter of hours. So get me the fucking clip. So like, I get it, but if he hadn't studied it before, it was still as honest an effort as a guy in his situation could be faced with. And how many cops have really read
exactly
right.
And part that all ties into his somewhat, normal guy character trying to achieve and trying to do the right thing. One thing that my mom pointed out, it's such a small throwaway line, I'll bet you missed it if you weren't paying attention, but he's referring to the Marquis de Sade and he calls it the Marquis de Sade.
Yes.
That's the singer.
Yeah, right.
That's the singer.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, that's not even, you would say Sade if you were just pronouncing it phonetically for an English speaker. Yeah.
But he just sees it and he's like, oh, I know how to say that. That's Sade. So
that's like the black lady that sings. Her name is Sade, right?
Yeah.
But I loved not only all of it, he hid the Cliff Notes because he didn't want Somerset to see that he was using Cliff Notes. He wanted to pretend like he had read the real thing and he's like hiding them and ashamed of them. And that says a lot about his character too.
And and his points were, they might not have been the linchpin, but they were relevant. They were poignant. They were, I'm saying, so like, good on him. That's why, like, well-meaning, I thought was a really good way to describe him, because he tried, and it helped a little bit. Maybe not as much as Morgan Freeman, but then again, Morgan Freeman couldn't chase the guy down for shit either.
Did anybody really help at the end of the day? I mean,
yeah, how did it end up?
Right.
Like, there are a million things that could have gone differently that would have saved a bunch of lives.
Now, listener, while they're talking about that, this is a plea from me directly to you. Jamie and Kelly can't hear me. I'm speaking directly to you. You need to subscribe and download. Make sure that you set your podcatcher of choice to subscribe and to auto-download, because it would really, really, really impress Jodie Foster and also kill John Lennon.
Jamie, do you think he knows his mic was on that whole time?
I don't think he does, and I think I'm a little concerned about Keith.
Oh,
we might need to schedule an intervention after this.
Guys could hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I might get some comments from the audience. But speaking of comments, if you have things that you want to say to us, find us on YouTube, Blue Sky, Instagram, Facebook, Discord, ko-fi.com/screenshare. You can let us know what you think. We're always, after every episode, people are talking about stuff that's going on in the Discord, so we try to respond to any questions there, because heck, Discord is where we're very active, but we have lots of funny memes going on at Facebook and Insta and Blue Sky, and YouTube is just a great place to listen to the podcast if you prefer to do it on that platform, over one of the podcasting ones.
You could give us a review. A review on any or all of the platforms would be great. It would help other people see us, because we all know that everything now is linked to algorithms, and reviews, especially reviews with words, get things pushed out further.
Did you see that we got a 1-star review somewhere? I don't know if I mentioned this to y'all, but we got a 1-star review somewhere. You did. Yeah, and they didn't tell us why. And I'm like, damn it, you took away all the fun.
Right.
Yeah.
You just told us we suck without telling us how we suck. Like, did you not take a lesson from the podcast? You have to at least explain how a thing sucks if you say it sucks.
Yeah, they should have. We would have read it on air if they would.
Absolutely.
Even if it's just, I don't know why it sucks, it's just the vibe that sucks.
I mean, if it was something like Kelly's social security number is blah, 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 I might not have read that out loud if they were right, but anything else, sure, we would have had a good time reading it. You missed an opportunity, reader, listener.
But that is ways to help without giving money, but you could just give us money.
That works too.
ko-fi.com/screenshare. Throw us some money. We'll watch a movie. We'll review the movie that you want us to watch. Hell, you could just give us money for nothing. I mean, who cares?
It helps cover the cost of every time we have to rent one. Yeah. Because every time we don't rent one, we run into subtitles and other issues and stuff. So help us help these poor living on the streets. We're panhandling. So throw us a dirty sock or something.
We make sure that Van Halen's right now is playing in the background as we give this spiel.
We're living on a prayer.
Yeah. You know those commercials that make you sad with the dogs? Well, that's like, just consider us like those dogs.
Oh my gosh, Keith, do we need to record an ad with our dogs looking sad?
Yeah, I think we do, because they're gonna put us down if you don't give us some money to watch a movie.
Did you know for only 50 cents a day, you too can sponsor a lonely
podcaster
podcast host? Yeah. These children rely on only 15 cents a day to afford their movie habit. Do your part.
Yes, do your part. Anyway, let's get back to talking about movies.
Keith, can we see you over here for a minute? I think we need to discuss them.
What's that?
Yeah. Let's talk about that John Lennon line, buddy.
Nothing. The white jacket. There's nothing you need to worry about with that. It's just a hug jacket.
You guys have been real the whole time?
No.
No. Oh my god. I have one more good. If anybody else,
I have 2 more.
All right, go ahead.
Well, I have 3 more, but one of them we're saving.
I got a tiny one.
Again, dirty.
Not the first time I've heard that about you.
Hey. I prefer average. Gravity Kills. There's a song of theirs called Guilty, and it was on my playlist back in the 90s and 2000s. It plays during the BDSM shop scene, and again, it was one of those where I get that it's kind of stereotypical. And you know what? I've been to quite a few like Noir Leather and Royal Oak and shit like that, and there's a lot of times the industrial is playing there too, but you might just as easily find somebody playing folk in one of those places. But I like Gravity Kills. At least I like a few of their songs, and Gravity is one of them. If you like that kind of slightly popified industrial.
Is it Gravity or Guilty?
Gravity Kills is the name of the band, and Guilty is the name of the song.
You just called the song Gravity the second time. That's why I was wondering.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, no, Gravity Kills is the name of the band. Guilty is the name of the song. And that's the end of my good. For realsies.
All the different foreshadowing in this movie. Like the way that Gwyneth Paltrow's face is framed a lot of the times. Where it is just her face.
Just her head.
Yep. Where Mills is talking and he's talking through bars a lot. It's just, there's there's just so much foreshadowing that happens in the movie, and I always appreciate movies where you can look back at the end and be like, ooh, wait.
Did you guys remember that it was John Doe was the photographer on the stairwell? Did that?
No.
Yeah.
No, it's been so long since I've seen this. I just remembered like the big bits.
That's good, right? Because it's very cool to come back and like you see that photograph and he's like motherfucker. Yes. Like it was him.
It wasn't brand new to me, but it was largely new to me. Like I got to really reappreciate it, and maybe I didn't see a lot of those subtle details that you're talking about, Jamie. But like it was still very enjoyable, and it gives me a reason to go back and watch it a 3rd or 4th or 5th or 6th time, or maybe even a Se7en.
Kill me now.
My last good is just that scene where Morgan Freeman can't sleep, so he gets up and takes out his pocket knife and starts throwing it at the dartboard repeatedly, and he's just fucking nailing bullseyes every time. Yeah, dude, what a fucking badass! Like I was instantly like, this is the motherfucker right here. You know what I mean? Like it's so good. Yeah.
My last good, other than what we're going to talk about, is the finale sequence. All of it, even knowing what happened this time, just the tension that builds through that whole, as they're riding along and they're talking back and forth, and that tension just keeps building because you're like, what are they going to? You can tell it's not done. Oh, so good.
I never appreciated the way he's like, what time is it? And he's like 7:01, and he does a little and it's like, because the driver, he's like, the driver comes out and he's like, he paid me $500 to be here at 7, and so like you know that he's like,
he's late. He's like 4 minutes late or something.
Fucked up my masterpiece, bro. Like,
$500 I paid you, motherfucker. And the most we get out of John Doe is,
yeah.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, right. I love it. And I never really picked up on that little aspect of it before, but it's pretty great.
All right, so that's the end of our good.
I think it's time to talk about our scene spotlight then, right?
Oh, roll it.
So that means I should just go ahead and roll it then,
Are you rolling it?
Yeah, it's been rolling. Can't you hear it? I can barely hear you. Hold on, let me turn it down a little bit.
Okay, good.
Now we can hear each other. So in one of the scenes we have Sloth, is the 7 cardinal sin victim of this one, and Sloth basically
Deadly sin.
Cardinal sins. Didn't I say that?
No, deadly sins, cardinal virtues.
Oh yeah, come on, it's the same. Anyway, so this guy is been kept alive, but barely, in a room in an apartment for a year, and he hasn't been ambulatory. He has barely been fed enough nutrients just to barely keep his organs alive, so that he will die, hopefully, right in front of the detectives or shortly thereafter. And when we see the scene, they get the address for this guy, so they rush in with the SWAT team and their go-go-goes and their SWAT gear and all that stuff, and they point all these combat shotguns after this
because they think they're coming
John
after
Doe.
they think they're coming after
John Doe. So I mean, with good reason, they're going in safely.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, the split in the scene between all these big, huge armored men with weapons of destruction in their hand, and you've got this man that couldn't even lift a finger if he fucking tried. He probably hasn't even pissed in 6 months or more. So and everybody thinks he's dead, and they call it in, and they check the rest of the house. Everything's clear. The scene just drags on for a little bit, and I don't mean drag on in a bad way, but they're looking around, and they're taking their time, and they're discussing it, and one of them comes up to him. They're like, well, we gotta get him out, so somebody unhook him so that we can transport him. And when somebody leans forward, he whispers in his ear, I forget, something menacing.
He
whispers something.
He says, "You got what you deserve."
Yeah. Because the guy was like a pederast.
It was Mills. It was Mills that leaned in.
Yeah. And as soon as he does it, the corpse supposedly sits up and gasps and comes to life, and everybody in the scene practically shits themselves with fear and shock. Everybody pointing their weapon at the now live corpse as he's gasping for air, but he still can barely move. And he looks like an emaciated.
Yeah,
dead
dude,
body. He looks like a corpse that's been there for
almost mummified.
Gnarly,
The actor was what was it, like 85 pounds at the beginning of filming, and the producers asked him to lose another 20 or 30 pounds, and he rejected. He rejected so hard that basically, according to the legend, he said that if you ask me again, I'm just not going to do the project because I can't. I'm already skinny enough, pretty much. So, yeah. And they didn't tell any of the actors, including any of the men with guns and all that stuff. Obviously, they weren't loaded with actual shotgun shells or anything. But they didn't tell anybody that that's how the scene was going to go. They thought they were coming in, and it was literally a corpse. Yeah. And the man trained for weeks and weeks ahead of time so that he could hold his breath as much as possible and take short breaths when he saw that nobody was looking in his general direction. So that he could, and they said that scene took like a few hours, and everybody afterwards, when they found out what he did, he got a standing ovation or something. Like, everybody truly respected what he did, and it was like legend among the crew. But in that moment, what you're seeing on the screen is literally their real reaction. Yeah. That's so it's good. Like an Alien type scenario where you just don't tell the actors, and you get their oh shit face right on camera.
And our oh shit face.
It's slightly abusive, but fucking cool too at the same time. And I hate saying it, but you know. Like, there's a level of consent that comes with acting that you should be able to trust your director not to
sound clip that. It's slightly abusive, but fucking cool too.
Well, you know, I mean,
yeah, I understand.
But it's also full on. All three of us knew it was coming, and it still scared the shit out of me.
That's one of the. There's so many dark things. It's one of the darkest because, like, once you're like, oh, Gross is dead and emaciated and he's been tortured. That seems terrible. It's more terrible that he's still alive somehow. That's
right.
Like, makes it 10 times worse for whatever reason.
Yes.
You're almost like,
and then they take him to the hospital. They're like, okay, we saved him. But they didn't, because he's still going to die because he's too far gone. Yeah. There's no saving him.
Even when he says, like, is there any way we can talk to him or anything? And he goes, his brain is withered away to mush.
Yeah.
Like, even if
and
he
his tongue's been cut out.
And he chewed even if his brain wasn't mush, then he chewed off his tongue so long ago that it wouldn't matter. Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Jesus. Mm-hmm. And that's the good.
Yeah,
that's
one of the
good
good scene
scenes.
Spotlight, everyone. Our favorite scene in the movie, connected to the good
crowd goes wild.
We love it, Art.
We're totally not psychopaths.
All right, shut that thing off. Shut that infernal machine down, and let's go ahead and let's talk about the bad.
I have very
Me too. I have 2.
I have 5.
I have 2.
I have 2.
I have 5.
So go first, Kel.
Yeah, you go a couple first, Kel.
Brad Pitt and Kevin Spacey here in the bad.
Sure, yeah.
And the reason why is because I don't feel like it's not the producer's fault to read their minds and know that these people were pieces of shit, years before it was made public. But we can't deny that there are some bad things that are going on there. Now, obviously, like, I don't know the details of any of these cases, and I don't know if these people have been found guilty in any courts of law, so a lot of these are allegeds and stuff like that, so I don't know. But it's definitely, it is remiss of us. I wanted to make sure, and I put it on paper, that if we hadn't brought it up already, that we definitely brought it up, which we did. So
we were going to bring it up, just not here for me.
Oh, there you go. And you know what? The argument could be made that it could go into ugly. I just felt like... Ugly is kind of reserved for either a big time social woe or something that the director or somebody in the crew did knowingly that was really shitty of them. And I don't think the producers didn't. And
like you said, no, this was not something that anybody at that time knew.
Yeah, like I don't want to blame David Fincher because one of the guys he hired years and years ago ended up being a fucking pedophile. Allegedly. Who knows? Who knows what he maybe he knew more and then he should face accountability for that. Maybe he knew nothing and we should just not really talk about it because it's just one of the unfortunate circumstances of working in the industry that some people are going to be bad.
In any industry, really.
Vending machine coffee goes into bad. I forgot what that tasted like.
Yep.
I forgot until I watched this movie and I was like, fuck you, David Fincher, for making me remember the audacity of that black sludge to call itself coffee. Even if it said coffee product, I still would have, it's not worth, like, put motor oil in your backyard. Don't put that coffee in your backyard. Don't do that to the grass. I got like 3 more, so go ahead.
My first bad is the sound effects ambience that's going on. I realized it was canned.
Yeah, it was a stylistic choice. They did that on purpose, so it always feels like it goes with you don't see the violence happening on screen. It's always meant to be mentioned that there's something horrible happening just around the next corner or just through that wall or just upstairs. So there's always screams or bangs or...
Yeah, but this is more when they're like in the office at the police office, or they're like out at a bar or wherever. Because the reason that I put this in the bad is because I heard the same woman laughing twice in 2 different scenes that were at 2 different locations.
Okay, you're talking about like the Foley stuff.
Yes, there's a canned Foley.
Just like the background Foley.
Yes, yeah. And so it stood out to me, and I was like, oh, that's disappointing. You know what I mean? Like that. It's just.
I think there was also something weird with the copy that we watched, where it felt like it was sometimes hard to hear the actors, and I don't think it was a Christopher Nolan choice.
I agree with that.
I think it was like a 5.1 surround sound that somebody tried to dub or something incorrectly. It just the sound effects weren't 100. They were a little bit too loud at times. Yeah. Louder than the vocal lines.
I feel confident saying it was 100% not a Christopher Nolan choice in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I don't remember David Fincher doing that before. He seems like the kind of guy that would ADR it 100 times before he'd do that.
But he did. I do know that the point where Mills is knocking on John Doe's door does not match up because that is listed in the goofs.
Oh.
So that is, like, it just does not match up. My kind of funny bad, because the other one is not funny at all, but it's when they come across, I think it's when they come across John Doe, isn't it?
No, it's not when they come across John Doe, it's at the end when they open the box. Yeah, that's my
they open the box and then somebody gets shot, and then one of the police on the radio says, the quote I have in my journal is, quote, "Call somebody." The police.
Yeah.
Like, who are you talking to?
Right.
Who did you say that to, sir? You said it on your little walkie-talkie thing? Who's on the other end of that, please? I'd like you to go into that a little deeper for me. Yeah, who are you? Who are you?
My thing is just like, shit has gone fucking tits up when the police are going, oh God, we need to call somebody. Like,
I mean, it's the guy in the helicopter, so he's basically SWAT.
Yeah, it's a SWAT team going, we don't know who to call. When I'm thinking also, like, don't worry, everybody that was going to kill somebody is already dead. Right. Like, the only person you need to call is a fucking coroner.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, that's
like, there's not even any suspects. We know exactly who did everything, and everybody that's in danger is dead, and everybody that's guilty is dead, and everybody's dead. So
yeah. So the leader,
we can all just go. We just go home. We can just cover up the bodies.
The leader of your SWAT team says, "Oh God, somebody ought to call somebody."
Yeah, that's a bad sign for sure.
Oh, yeah, we're gonna the next Monday morning. Okay, guys, we're gonna review basic procedures.
Right.
Chain of command, chapter 1. Yep. I never ever want to hear call somebody on a fucking official line.
Yeah.
My other bad is the lust death. Because
I have that in my ugly.
Yeah, and John Doe is a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like the full on shivers. Can't even watch the scene without getting shivers, and then the poor guy who had to do it.
Oh yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible. It's horrible, and I understand why it's in your bad, but it's such good fucking storytelling because there is a little element. There's a vigilanteism to John Doe early on in some of his early kills. Like maybe you're not fat phobic, so you don't care about the glutton guy, but when you get to the lawyer, you're like, huh. Maybe let him cook for a minute. Maybe he's doing something good here. And then you see the lust kill and you're like, nope, fuck this guy. Yep. This guy is a sicko piece of shit. He needs to burn and you're with Mills immediately. And I think it's just masterful storytelling. So I get why it's in your bad, but even though I didn't list it in my good, because it feels icky to do that too, but it was really, and they did it without showing us and everything was in my mind.
That's what put it in my ugly because it's so...
It feels weird to say it, but it was elegant.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could say that.
It feels
I would not call it elegant.
But efficient.
Yeah.
But slightly dark poetic. The way that they told it without having to be too graphic. He made me put it in. Like, we don't go into graphic detail,
it's not
but you
graphic
know exactly what fucking happened.
All is the thing. You just understand based on the photo of the thing,
the picture,
and the way the guy looks and wrapped in the sheet after. And it's just, and your mind does it for you, which is that's the worst part of it. That is absolutely the worst part.
Is well done, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I loved about Halloween. That's what I loved about every time I think about a horror movie that really gets to me. It's me imagining the stuff that's happening off screen or the really right before, really right after. Ugh.
And it's almost a violation of its own right? Because it forces it on you to imagine this against your will. Like, I don't think any of us want to sit there imagining this, but because of they present us with evidence A, B, and C, you're like, you connect the dots against your own will, and you're like, fuck, no, get the hell out of my head.
And you feel empathy for the people that were guilty, like the man that's cheating on his wife with the prostitute. I felt horrible for him.
Yes.
Like, like what you were doing to your wife, that's not cool, bro, but you didn't deserve that. Like, nobody deserves that.
Yeah.
No.
So I get you, but that was, it's hard for me not to almost list it in my good. It just, it feels weird too.
I'm sitting over here literally shivering thinking about it.
Yeah.
So
you notice that, dear listener, we have not gone into detail because it's too much. I don't want to talk about it. So
if you've seen the movie, you know exactly what we're talking about.
Talking about graphic, horrific detail, I'd like to talk about Morgan Freeman's laughing face. He looks like a goddamn, like, you know those Japanese masks that they wear
the
for
Oni?
Kabuki theater or whatever, like, and it looks like a very angry demon, like, that's what he looks like when he laughs. And I'm like, thank God he doesn't laugh often in movies, and not hard like he did in this one, but in this one he laughed like belly laughed, and I was like, please get me out of the room with him. Don't point the camera at that anymore. That's hurting my soul, because Morgan Freeman's supposed to be like calm and restful and comfortable, and he looked like he would literally bite my jugular out of my neck and cackle like the Joker as he did it. It was horrible.
The absurdity of the most horrific thing that Kelly can think of in this movie being
Morgan Freeman's fucking laughing face. It's right up there. It is up there with the 7 deadly sins and the victims. Like, it is. I kid you not. Maybe I'll go back and take a still of the movie and show it to everybody. You'll see.
Any more bad?
That's all I have for bad.
All right.
I got one more. The car ride length felt a little long to me. I get what you're saying about the tension, and I feel like the tension was built pretty effectively, but then it lasted just a little bit too long. And I'm like, and it felt like it lasted long without adding anything more of value to me. There was a certain point in the conversation where I'm like, yep, and I feel like this is where we're probably going to be when we get to that final scene. And then the next minute or so played out and nothing really changed in the dynamic in my mind. I don't remember the exact quote, but in my mind, it felt like I could just pull a minute or two. I don't even know how long it was because it's hard to tell time when you're in a movie. But for me, I started my mind started wandering during the car ride, and I'm like, that sucks because this movie is really wonderful, and my mind is going, yeah, and.
But I wonder if you didn't know what was coming.
Oh, I did. I remember that's one of the things I did remember.
That's
is the
what I'm
ending
saying.
Really well.
Yeah. If you didn't know that maybe that would have been different.
Yeah, true.
Because you have the anticipation of what's coming and you want to get to it.
True. That's possible. And we brought that
Especially
up in movies
since
before.
we don't remember.
Yeah, when we know it's coming, then that tension beat feels like it's a little too pregnant for our tastes, but it's it's totally fine for the newcomer.
And maybe it would have been still feeling too much for you. It's possible, but I just wonder if it would have had you not known.
Well, if that's all we have for the bad, that means that it's time to talk about the ugly. Which we have already talked about my two uglies, which is Sloth and the Dildo is what I have written under the uglies. So
Sloth and the Dildo.
Yeah, I'll leave the rest to you two knuckleheads to tell us about the ugly.
We already talked about the only ones that I had, which were the abusers that are main stars in this movie, and how, because it was probably all happening. Well, maybe not Brad Pitt because his children weren't around yet, but it was all probably still happening at this point, and nobody knew, and that sucks. Or people knew and didn't care. Either way, it sucks.
Either way is kind of sad. I had one ugly, and I have taken it off after watching more of the movie. I put library records as an ugly, because, I mean, I was having a hard time finding anything that was really, like, it felt like it was slap in the face bad. Because this movie is, spoiler alert, amazing. Like, it's so fucking well put together. Yeah. So when somebody has this much attention to detail and you have this many talented people, world-class talented people acting at the top of their game and putting sets together at the top of their game, and it's all clicking together, there's not a whole lot to go off of. So I looked at the library records as the one thing that I was going to hang my hat on. And it basically goes like this. At one point in the movie, they're completely lost and they don't know what to do. So they decide, they know that the guy has certain books that he's alluding to because of the different notes he's leaving behind. So they decide to go to the public libraries and start asking who has checked out these books to see if they can start to get a list and start to canvass the area of the however many people might have checked out these books. From a librarian's point of view, that is 100% illegal. Our software doesn't even allow to do that. Like when you check out, or when you check your book back in, as long as the book's in good condition, my system just fucking wipes it out. We don't even see that anymore because part of your First Amendment right is that you don't have people going through your shit. During McCarthyism, they used to have cops that would raid the libraries to ask what books so-and-so has checked out, and people were brought up on charges by the books they checked out. And then we discovered that was not a good way to run a society, so we hopefully pass laws that are still working together today to make sure that we don't, but either way, from a librarian's point of view, it never works that way. Like, even if they came in, but I crossed it out because they didn't gloss over it. It was a major point. Basically, their evidence line that started with that library search that was totally illegal ended with them going, we can't use this evidence because we got this through illegal means. So I'm like, okay, all right. So the characters were responding properly to it. And also, who knows? I didn't work in libraries in 1999 or whenever this movie came out. So I don't... 1995. Yeah, I was in fucking high school in 1995. So I didn't... I had no idea. Maybe libraries did still have records like this that you could do if they were under pressure from local law enforcement. They might give that kind of information. I don't know. I would hope not, but who knows? So I crossed it off. But now you all know a little bit of the history of if you check out books, it is protected. Even if we wanted to give it up, there's nothing I can do about it.
Nice.
I mean, just to go off of that, I feel like it probably was somewhere in the 95 because you were still signing paper library cards at that point. Like, you could go and see who checked it out yourself because their signature was on the library card before yours.
Yeah, but it's still like, I would think that the Supreme Court ruling that made it illegal was already in play. I think that was in like the 70s that got really codified.
I'm not saying that it was legal because obviously it wasn't. I'm just saying that it's very possible that those records existed.
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, under the right kind of pressure, like the point you're making would absolutely be valid that, yeah, we do technically have the record back there and I'm not supposed to let you look, but you're a detective and you're trying to do some good work. So go ahead and I'll turn the other way.
And, we're not supposed to have our phone calls listened to that we're making every day these days, but we all know better.
So that's the end of our uglies, I guess.
Show is.
Mm-hmm.
So those were our thoughts about Sesevenen from 1995. And obviously, we really appeared to enjoy a lot of it. But now is a part of the
Kelly
show.
Calling it Se7en.
Hey, you were doing that all on your happy lonesome. But none of that really matters because now we're at the point where we start asking ourselves questions about it. And we're at the point where we ask ourselves the 3+1 questions, which some people would consider 4 questions, but I prefer to call it 3+1 questions. The first question of which is, if the entire cast of this movie was replaced by Muppets, who would the one human remaining be?
I have an answer for that. There's several answers to this, but I think I'm gonna keep Morgan Freeman as the human, and I'm gonna have Fozzie as the Brad Pitt character. I think Kermit is John Doe in my vision.
Took a dark turn, my friend.
I think Piggy is Gwyneth Paltrow.
Of course.
Yeah, so that's just where my mind went. There's also a scenario where Gonzo is John Doe, which is also funny to me.
Wait, so Fozzie and Miss Piggy are married in your universe?
Yeah. So it's they're actors, right? The Muppets are actors, so they're playing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why Kermit flips out a little bit.
I can definitely see Gonzo as John Doe a little more.
I was envious of your
but
life.
I would keep.
Yeah, but Kermit is such an everyman and so mild. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of who John Doe is. Is just
she was a disease-ridden whore.
Yeah.
I would keep John Doe as the human and let all the Muppets be.
That's pretty good too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the first way my mind went was John Doe as a human just killing a bunch of Muppets and torturing them. And
so then who are the two detectives?
Obviously Kermit
and Fozzie.
Okay, yeah.
Or if it's the buddy cop, but then you can do
Gwyneth
Kermit with
Paltrow.
somebody else that's older.
You could do Sam the Eagle and Kermit.
Yeah.
Sam could play Morgan's.
I can see that. I can see it.
Or you stick with like the black coated actor and you go with like Rolf or something like that as Somerset.
And Sam is the head detective.
Oh, he'd be great as the lead detective.
Lee Army. Yeah. He looks like that guy, so that's perfect.
This is really a dark movie for the Muppets, and I don't really want them in it.
That's why imagining Kermit saying she was a disease-ridden whore is really getting my mind a little bit.
Detective!
Oh, good lord.
All right, the second question that we ask is, what would the promotional popcorn bucket for this movie look like?
Oofa doofa.
It's a box.
Yep.
It's a box.
Yeah.
What's in the box?
It's a box. What's in the
popcorn.
box?
The person just goes for the 87th time today. Popcorn.
Yes.
Popcorn's in the fucking box.
Quit fucking asking.
Christ, I hate my job.
Yeah, it's clearly the box. It has to be the box.
But hey, it's 1995, so at least the people that were giving you your popcorn could afford a one-bedroom apartment.
It's nothing but the box.
Except for that they were probably teenagers in 95.
Box is the only answer. What's our next question?
Yep.
The last of the 3 questions is, what is your most valuable part? It could be a person, it could be the person playing the character, it could be something esoteric like the color red in a scene, but what is your MVP? Jamie.
I gotta go with, it's not even my phone. Click.
that line in particular, that is a bold choice. I like your choice.
It's the much needed levity in the middle of this movie.
Yeah.
Because there is no levity in this movie other than that.
Much like how movies often depict violence as sudden and coming out of nowhere, this was a moment of humor that was silent and came out of nowhere. Like, what? What just happened? What about you, Keith?
Mine has got to be Brad Pitt's acting in the scene of cycling through like just severe emotional turmoil and rage, when
anger, denial,
when he's
bargaining,
when he's becoming wrath, and it's like that looking down like sob face almost, and then it tightens up and he turns cold and he's just got the gun, but then it's like it breaks because he's so stricken with grief that he can't even hold his gun straight, and he's just cycling through this back and forth, and it's like,
yep.
Did you finally see? He sees that one flash of her, and then it's like, okay, decision made, and he fucking wastes him, and he doesn't even just shoot him once. He empties the fucking clip into him.
He shoots
like,
him six times.
And anybody that's been through those intense emotions, that at least for me, it felt very natural to me in the sense that when you're at this intense moment where you're feeling several bad feelings all at once, it's like they cascade onto you in alternating current almost, and like you feel incredibly sad for a second and a half and the tears just start pouring, and then you're incredibly angry, and then you're incredibly sad, and then you're incredibly angry, and you could see it, and the tears pouring out of his eyes, but then his eyes becoming immediately like fire red hot staring at him, and then melting all over again as quickly as they steal before. It was beautiful.
What about you, Kelly?
I would say my MVP would have to be if I was on a cruise ship and everything from the shows to the music to the smell of the air to the comfortable ride was perfect from top to bottom. I would have to give the captain his flowers. And in this, I have to give David Fincher the props that I feel he deserves.
It established him as that fucking guy. You know what I mean? That's what this movie did for his career.
Also, I really wondered where you were going with that.
He went to bat for this movie and his vision of this movie over and over again, and seeing what happened to him with Alien 3, I'm happy that he did, and he stuck to his guns, and he risked a lot to get this done the way he wanted it to be done. He got ostracized by some big names because it was so dark and so evil and all that stuff. And somehow, like, he ended up bringing a good cast together. And yes, I could go down the line and say Morgan Freeman, fucking amazing job. Brad Pitt, fucking amazing job. The music, fucking amazing job. Gwyneth Paltrow, with the limited time she had, fucking amazing job. Everybody did a fucking amazing job. And instead of me passing out one little flower to each of them, I think they would probably all agree to give them to the man in charge, because I'm sure he had a lot of pull in every little brief moment that we saw on screen. So those are the 3 questions, but none of those questions really matter, because the only question that really matters is when it comes to Se7en, did you enjoy it, and would you give it a thumbs up?
You really want to do this? Here. Now? Yes. Okay. Okay. Let's do it!
I picked this movie because it is what I would consider one of the masterpieces of 90s horror, and it does what I feel good horror has to do, which is it sticks with you. Like, it's not a movie you watch and you're like, oh, jump scare, and then you're done and you forget about it. This is the kind of movie that when you're in a dark alley by yourself, you start kind of thinking about what could be around you. You see somebody, with a certain silhouette, you get kind of that creeped out feeling.
Every time you get in an Uber, you wonder if you're getting in John Doe's Uber.
Just those kind of things that you don't always get from horror movies. That's the kind of horror I like, and that's what this movie did so well. So, Kelly.
Yeah, definite thumbs up. This is on par with some of the best movies I've ever seen. Like, if there was a Mount Rushmore of the best movies, I don't know exactly who would make it and who wouldn't. It would take a long time and probably a whole episode to figure that out, but this movie's in the consideration, for sure. Like, I don't know if it's the number 1 best movie ever made, but when you think about, like, Matrix is a recent movie that we did that all of us really agreed that this was just a fucking top to bottom, well-made, well-oiled machine. Everything was central around one vision. Everybody bought into the plan. And anybody that knows, when you work in an organization, if everybody buys into a plan, even if it's a mediocre plan, things go really well. Things go much better than if you had a great plan and only half of the people buy in and the other half are just kind of there. So, like, everybody bought into this and they made a fucking masterpiece. And in my life experience, I wouldn't put movies like Citizen Kane as the best movie of all time, but this movie would enter into the conversation. Keith?
Yeah, I have to agree. It's definitely a thumbs up. The word masterpiece, I was thinking about this movie like a painting, in that from the very tiny little single hair brush strokes to the broad brush, everything is firing and doing what it needs to do, all cylinders. The grand ideas are great, the tiny little details that it gives you is great, just through and through. I would agree, masterpiece. Fucking great movie.
Perfect.
So we've compared it to a cruise ship and a masterpiece painting.
And you know what? There are some similarities there where it's an experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's an experience that if you let yourself like fold into it and enjoy it for what is actually in front of you, then you will get something out of it.
Yes, for sure.
So we are done with 90s horror.
We are. You know what that means?
That means it's time to spin that wheel.
Hooray.
And with the time dilation of being online, listeners, you have no idea how painful that was for each of us to actually do. Kelly will have a much easier time. Hopefully it lines up. Anyways, we are looking at
the dread that fills my stomach every time this comes up.
What are you doing? Get into my stream.
I'm having trouble. I'm having trouble, see? All right.
All right.
We are now picking the genre
So
first.
much dread.
All right.
So much dread.
Here we go.
All right, Keith, you
Genre.
spin it.
Oh.
Okay.
Free pick. So each of us can pick. Free pick is what we landed on. So that means that each of us can pick whatever we want from the year that we get in the.
So let's
wheel.
find
Okay?
out. Let's find out the free pick from.
We can't get 90s again because we just got it.
All right. Okay. I love it. Yes. Wonderful.
Oh my God! This is the monkey paws curling. Listener, what it landed on is retro, vintage, ancient.
Yeah.
Kelly hates retro, vintage, ancient. No, I mean, I'm sure I can find something. This will make it a challenge. I can't say that no good movies existed before 1980, so I'll find
It's
something.
70s.
And this goes back to 70s and before.
Yeah, 70s and before.
Yeah, don't worry, I can find something. Dazed and Confused was in the 70s, right?
Nope. That's when it was took place.
That's when it took place. Yeah.
Well, how loose are we playing with the rule? I'm kidding. We're fine. Well, I'll find something. I'm sure the both of you already have a list that are forming in your head. And you know what? This is exactly the kind of shit that this is uncomfortable for me because I don't generally like these kind of movies. But without doing these movies in the past, for like movie night before we started the podcast, I remember we had somebody that picked What Happened to Baby
Jane
or whatever. Baby Jane.
Yeah.
I did not.
Baby Jane,
yeah, I did not have high hopes going into it, but I ended up actually having a really good time, and it was a really interesting psychological thriller in its own way. And I'm here to be blown away, and hopefully that's one of the causes of movie night. And hopefully you can do it. Blow me away with a couple of ancient movies of your pick. You both get a free pick to blow us both away. Both of you have been blown before.
Okay, well, I can't wait to blow both of you away.
Oh, I'm so thankful I get to edit this one.
I can't wait to blow both of you.
I got a tiny one. It's slightly abusive, but fucking cool too at the same time. All the revenge, none of the cringe. That's the benefit you get for doing the edit.
You dumb bastard.
So who's first? It's Kelly, right? We'll see you guys next time with Kelly's free pick or ancient.
And I have no fucking clue what I'm gonna pick, so we're all gonna find out next time on Screen Share and Chill. I've been Kelly.
I have been Keith.
And I'm still Jamie.
That was tense. Bye.
I don't even have words.
I'm going to call the police. You go ahead, call